Welcome to the Bi-Monthly and Disbursement of Public Monies part of the new lobbying application launch. In the previous video, we went over how to file the Lobbyists Bi-Monthly, including how to file an amendment. In this video, we will be going through how to file the Public Corporation Bi-Monthly, including how to file an amendment, what new rules apply to filing submissions, and how to navigate through each tab on the filing. Each video will include a short segment at the end on how to access and respond to a filing ticket created by Jacob. These tickets are only created if information on the filing needs to be amended. Please keep in mind that all filings for year 2018 and prior will be submitted in our legacy lobbying application. Beginning on January 1st, 2019, any future filings will be submitted in our new lobbying application. Please note, filings filed in our current application will eventually be migrated over to the new lobbying application. We do not yet have a date of when the migration will occur. The lobbying application is launching in beta. Not all functions will be immediately available. Screen views and features are subject to change. The Public Corporation Bi-Monthly, beginning the week of March 4th, can be filed. In this video, we will be going through how to file the Public Corporation Bi-Monthly, what new rules apply to the filing submission, and how to navigate through each tab on the filing. You will need to log in through Jacob's direct lobbying application link or through the my.ny.gov website with your personal ny.gov ID. Please see previous video series for instructions on obtaining an ny.gov ID and setting up your personal user profile in the lobbying application. Lobbyists who have previously completed the Ethics for Lobbyists course already have an ny.gov ID assigned to them. Once on your dashboard screen in your user profile, you will want to make sure all the organizations you are affiliated with, submit filings for, are listed under the Affiliated Organizations tab. If any changes need to be made to the profile or individual lobbyist names added, you can access the organization profile by selecting View next to the organization name. If there is more than one organization name listed and you would like to see a particular organization's submitted filings in the dashboard, you can select the radio button next to the organization name. To begin a Public Corporation Bi-Monthly filing, you will need to select Bi-Monthly under Lobbyist Filings in the Quick Start menu. Another way is to select BiMo on the registration listed under the Active Contracts tab. This will bring you directly to the Bi-Monthly associated with that registration. If beginning under the Quick Start menu, select Bi-Monthly. Then under Lobbyist Public Corporation Info, you would select the public corporation name in the drop-down menu. Please keep in mind that a Bi-Monthly filed cannot be completed until the registration has been submitted. If the public corporation name does not appear here, this means either the registration has not been filed yet, or the public corporation profile that you are filing for does not have your name listed in the public corporation profile as either the Chief Administrative Officer, Delegated Administrator, or Authorized Preparer. Meaning the registration could be filed, but if you are not listed in any of those three capacities on the public corporation profile, you will not have access to the filing. Please reference these two video tutorials on Jacob's website, Understanding Roles in the Organization Profile and How to Create or Claim an Organization Profile for guidance. And if at that point you still need guidance, please contact a Jacob filing specialist at 1-800-87-ETHICS. However, if the public corporation name does appear in the drop-down menu, you will need to select the name as I already did. Then in the screen below will appear the Bi-Monthly year and period for you to choose. To begin the Bi-Monthly, you would select Start in blue under Start View Form. The Public Corporation Bimonthly filing will now appear in your browser. At the top is a square box where the public corporation information appears. Then, to the right of this information, the filing will display Public Corporation Bimonthly and indicate that it is a new filing. The reference number will be given until the filing is submitted. However, when you begin a filing, it will appear as 0 in that field until the filing is either saved or submitted. Please keep in mind, every filing has a reference number. In case they don't, submit the form. There is no confirmation number until the filing is submitted. This way, if you contact JCOPE regarding the saved form, this number can be used as a reference. The buttons to submit, discard, and save will always remain at the top of the tab list in the filing. Within your Public Corporation Bimonthly are tabs. I will be going through the tabs individually to show you what information is stored in each tab. Please keep in mind that while completing each tab within the Public Corporation Bimonthly filing, you can continue through each tab by either selecting the tab to access or by selecting Continue on the bottom of each tab. Also, if the bimonthly needs to be saved, you can do so by selecting the Save button located at the top of the tabs. If you accidentally start a bimonthly and do not wish to complete, you can select Discard, which is also located at the top of the tabs. The application always displays a message asking if you wish to save before returning to the dashboard, if the filing has not yet been submitted. The Compensation and Expenses tab. The first mini subtab is called the Inhouse Lobbyists tab. First, you will need to select the level of government from the drop-down. Below, you will see the names of each individual associated with the public corporation who engaged in lobbying activities during this period. These names will pre-populate from the registration filed. To input a compensation amount for an individual listed, you would select the compensation amount in blue and enter in the correct amount, or select the box if there is no compensation to report. The current in-house compensation total is at the bottom of this mini tab. If the individual lobbyist is designated, you would check the box. To add a name that does not appear on that list, select Modify, Add New Individual Lobbyist, enter the new name, effective date of when lobbying began, then select Add. You would select Manage Lobbyists if you inadvertently open this to get back to the previous screen. But we're selecting Add. If this individual lobbyist name does not appear in the list provided, select None Match. However, if you do find the name, please select from that list to avoid a duplicate match. Once all names are listed under the selected lobbyist list, click Save Changes to add names to the bimonthly filing. If you added an individual lobbyist name, please be sure to update all applicable filings by selecting the name, then the form on which that name needs to be added. You would select Look for Filings, the form, and click Submit. If you accidentally open this window, you can select Close. The second mini tab is called Retained Lobbyists. To add the name of the retained lobbyist organization, you will begin to enter their name in the field or type an asterisk to search for the organization. If an organization profile already exists, the information will appear for you to select as I just did. If more than one version of the organization name appears, please select the name that has the green check next to it to avoid a duplicate profile. However, if the entity does not have an organization profile, you will need to select Click here to create retained lobbyist profile that does not exist yet, and then complete the necessary fields. If the incorrect entity was added, you can then select an X to remove in the next screen. To add the compensation amount for a retained lobbyist listed, you would select the compensation amount in blue and enter in the correct amount. Or select the box if there is no compensation to report. Then select Save. The current retained lobbyist compensation total is at the bottom of this mini tab. The last mini sub-tab is called Other Public Corp Expenses. Under Other Public Corporation Expenses, current period only, if applicable, the filer will report in the aggregate all expenses less than or equal to 75, and all expenses for salaries of non-lobbying employees. Check the box if there are no itemized expenses being reported during this period. If applicable, report in the aggregate all itemized expenses exceeding $75. If there are none to report, as I mentioned above, please select the checkbox next to Check here if you have no itemized expenses to report for this period. However, if you have itemized expenses to report, then select Add. For adding an individual expense, you would complete the following fields and then select Add. If there are more than one expense to input, just select Add Another. Check this box if the expense is reimbursed by the client, and check if purpose does not exist in the list below. You can then type in manually the expense purpose. If an organization itemized expense is being added, you would select the radio button next to organization, then complete the following fields. If the expense is reimbursed by the client, you would check this box, and you would check this box if the purpose does not exist in the list below. You can manually type in the purpose in this field. If applicable to this itemized expense, you would select Add to input the expense detail. This section is only applicable if you are reporting the individual expense amounts that total the itemized expense you are reporting for the organization. For example, if the testing organization is listing an $1,000 expense for the plane tickets bought for a couple of employees, you would then list their name and amount of money spent on their individual ticket under this itemized expense. The amounts reported would total the amount of the itemized expense. Then select Add as I just did. Once all itemized expenses have been added, you would select Add one more time. The total of all expenses listed will be at the bottom of this tab. The Lobbying Subjects tab. The subjects on which you expect to lobby are reported in this tab. This section is formally known as the Client Business Nature section on the registration. One or multiple subjects can be listed here. However, one subject is required to be listed and is carried over from the registration. You have the ability to add a subject that may need to be reported during this bi-monthly period that was not listed on your registration. For the full list to choose from in the search field, type the asterisk symbol. The list will then appear. Once the subject is selected, it will pre-populate below under Subjects. If a subject is accidentally selected, just click the X to remove. This information didn't previously populate on the bi-monthly filing. This is a new part of this filing. The Lobbying Activities tab. State and municipal focuses are entered here. The first step is to review all applicable information if it was listed on the registration by selecting Update. Any focus that was listed will appear here under the Focuses from Registration tab for you to select and assign a communication type. You can select the communication type in the drop-down. Then select all focuses that apply to that communication type and select Add to Focuses. Any new focuses that were not entered on the registration can be reported in the New Focuses tab within that window. If you inadvertently assigned the wrong communication type to a focus, you can update by selecting the correct communication type in the drop-down field under the Communication column. To add a new focus, you can do so by completing the following fields and then selecting Enter on your keyboard. If you are unsure of the focus number, you can select Add Description if identifying number is unknown. Choose the communication type, then data enter what the focus is regarding and select Add. This will add that focus to your list under the correct communication category. If adding multiple focuses, you would select Load Multiple and enter each focus under its specified communication type. If more than one are listed in the box, use a comma to separate them. And if an amended focus is added, be sure to enter a dash before the A at the end of the focus number. Once all focuses are added, you would select Process to continue. In the Focuses box, you will now see all the focuses listed under their specified communication type when I press Close. Before pressing Close, under the Focuses from Registration, there is a Show Help button as a reference. Now we will update the Party Lobbied box. Any parties listed on the registration will pre-populate except if Unknown at this time was listed. All others can be added by selecting Update if needed and by completing the following fields. To add a party lobbied, you can either type in an asterisk symbol for the complete list of parties and select the party to be listed below. And if that party name is not found, you would select Click here to add party name if not found. Select the appropriate government body, type in the party name, and select Add. Once all parties lobbied that are being added are entered, you would select Add one more time. The next step is to associate a focus to a party. Select the focus or focuses depending on if they have the same party by selecting the checkbox to bring over to the middle row entitled Preview. Then select the party or parties associated with those focuses like I just did. This action creates a direct link, one-on-one relationship between each focus and the identity of the party lobbied in relation to that focus. Once the relationship is created, you will then select Add to report below on the BiMonthly. If adding a focus that does not have a party associated, you would select the focus, click Add, then you will be required to select Monitoring Only. The online application will display all listed, as well as differentiate between state or municipal bill. The information will not be inputted on the BiMonthly if you do not move the focus and parties down under My Selected Focuses. There is also a Show Help icon here as well for further instruction. The Attestation tab. After the entire filing has been complete, you are required to attest to the information provided by selecting the checkbox. The filer name and the Chief Administrative Officer name will pre-populate in the fields. The Activity tab. This is auto-generated by the application to display for the filer the history of the filing if it has been saved at any point. Once the filing is complete, you will select Submit located above the tabs in the BiMonthly filing. A page will appear that says Filing Submitted. You can either print the filing, go back and view the filing, or return to the dashboard. The filing confirmation number for a public corporation BiMonthly will always begin with PBO. We are going to return to the dashboard. Once submitted, the Public Corporation BiMonthly will be viewable on your dashboard and in the Public Corporation profile. Under All of My Filings, you would select BiMonthly, and this is where the Public Corporation BiMonthly will be viewed as submitted. To view this report in the organization profile, you would select View next to the Public Corporation profile, select Forms, BiMonthly, and the filing is listed here as well. If the filing needs to be amended, you can now amend before the filing is approved. Multiple amendments can be filed. The application no longer stops a filing because there is currently one pending approval. To file an amendment, open the Submitted Public Corporation BiMonthly and select Amend. Congratulations, you now know how to file the Public Corporation BiMonthly in the new lobbying application. Below is how your screen will appear in the dashboard if a filing ticket has been issued. You can access those tickets under Action Items by selecting Open Tickets. In order to resolve a ticket, you will need to open the submitted filing and make corrections through an amendment. Thank you for watching this second video on how to file the Public Corporation BiMonthly. It is important to know where to reach out for help. If you have questions regarding how to file the Public Corporation BiMonthly in the new lobbying application, please contact Jacob's Help Desk at 800-87-ETHICS. When prompted, press 1 to speak to a lobbying filing specialist, or email the help desk at helpdesk@jacob.ny.gov. If you have any legal questions about the information reported on your filing, or any legal questions regarding the new lobbying regulations, please contact Jacob's Attorney of the Day at 800-87-ETHICS. When prompted, press 2 to speak to the Attorney of the Day, or send an email to legal@jacob.ny.gov.